Raw Warriors, Jimmy Vercellino here, United States Marine Corps veteran and your very own highly motivated, trusted advisor specializing in VA loans. And today, I wanted to roger up with all of my veterans out there, my active duty service members, and talk a little bit about VA eligibility requirements, right? How do we as veterans become eligible to use our VA home loan? It's a good question. And there's a lot of misinformation that exists in the marketplace today. So today we're gonna set the record straight. Good to go? Okay, so before we do, what I'm going to ask you is simply this. If you find that this information is of value and I've earned it, would you consider showing your love by clicking like and subscribing to this channel, and lastly, commenting down below? You'd be surprised, you guys, but believe it or not, those 3 simple steps will help you and I to educate more veterans and active duty service members across this great nation. And that's why we're here today. So now what we're gonna talk about is VA eligibility requirements. There's a lot of veterans that are walking around out there that simply don't know whether or not they are eligible to use a VA loan. And here's the deal. Taylor, did you know that you could be eligible to use a VA loan but not be pre-qualified?
Oh, really?
Yeah. You could, man. So you could be eligible but not pre-qualified, and you could be pre-qualified but not eligible. So today we need to make sure that we as veterans understand the difference between the two, because it's important, all right? So let's start with the basics. If you're an active duty service member, you're watching this video right now, all you need to have is 90 days of active duty service, okay? 90 days of active duty service. Now here's the deal. You and I both know that as active duty service members, very few of us would be in a position where we could buy a home in as little as 90 days. But I'm simply reporting the news to you today, all right? So 90 days if you're an active duty service member. For most veterans, we're talking post-Vietnam veterans, okay? Post-Vietnam veterans, you need to have 2 years of service, okay? 2 years of service, and you must be honorably discharged, okay? So I'm gonna write that down too, because that's important. Must be honorably discharged, because if you're not, you have something other than a honorable discharge, most likely what's going to have to happen is you're not going to receive an automatic COE. That stands for Certificate of Eligibility. Now you've got to go directly to the VA and ask them whether or not you rate a VA loan. So if you had an other than honorable general, that's gonna be a VA determination. They're gonna take a little bit more of a look into why you weren't honorably discharged, okay? So in addition to that 2 years of service, you must have been on active duty a minimum 181 days, y'all. 181 days on active duty in that 2 years of service. Good to go? All right, now let's keep rolling forward here. For my veterans that were maybe medically discharged, okay, if you were a veteran who received a medical discharge, there are exceptions to that rule. So let's say that you were injured in combat, or let's say that you were injured in the military after having served the 2 years. You then would be also eligible for the VA home loan benefit. So I'm gonna say medical discharge, okay as well, all right? So a medical discharge. And lastly, for my reservists, okay? So what is a reservist, all right? So those that are doing drill and these types of things, right? So for my reservist, you must have served 6 years. So I'm gonna write that down here, all right? 6 years and be honorably discharged. Now, just yesterday, as a matter of fact, there was an announcement by the Department of Veterans Affairs that stated that if a reservist has been deployed or active for more than 90 days, they too will be eligible for VA home loans. So if you are a reservist and you have been activated for more than 90 days of active military service, not including training or boot camp or anything like that. We're talking to maybe Iraq or Afghanistan or some other sort of active duty deployment. You too could be eligible for your VA home loan benefit. The last thing that I want to talk about really quick is the spouse of a deceased veteran. I get a lot of phone calls and a lot of questions on this from veterans on this channel that say, hey Jimmy, I lost my spouse. due to a injury or a service-related injury? And the answer, or I should say the reality is that the surviving spouse of the veteran is entitled to use the veteran's VA home loan benefit if and only if the cause of death was service-related. So what does that mean? It means that if you have a veteran who perhaps was contracted cancer or developed cancer from having been exposed to Agent Orange, you could link the cause of death to the cancer or the Agent Orange exposure. And in that particular instance, the VA would tie the two together and say the veteran's spouse would then be eligible for the VA home loan benefit. So that is a case-by-case basis. Obviously, killed in action would be considered a service-related benefit. The spouse of the service member would be able to use the VA home loan benefit as well. Good to go? So if you have questions about VA home loan eligibility, my team and I would be honored to be a valuable resource for you. My direct is 602-908-5849, or you can always visit my website at VALoans4Vets.com. Hey, thank you, and may God bless you for your service to our great country. Semper Fi.